What's going on, Yu-Gi-Oh fans? PlotArmorCards in the house, and this is crazy. After the announcement of some brand new archetypes, after the release of a brand new structure deck, and potential reprints, there are some crazy cards that are going up and down in the market that I wanted to take a look at together. So let's go ahead and get into the first card, guys. So first of all, we got ourselves Visas Starfrost. Now, I covered this brand new archetype. Trying to remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it is heavily reliant on Visas Starfrost, heavily reliant on monsters getting destroyed, the tuners getting destroyed in order to summon and spam other monsters on the field. And this is definitely something that has its lore has been increased, and as a result, people are really interested in picking up this card. So I think I picked this up at around $8. I only have one copy, unfortunately, but it looks like it has gone up, and the cheapest listing right now is about $17. Personally, now again, I doesn't mean I'm right here, but personally, I think Dimension Force has been out. What has it been 6, 7, 8 months around that time? This will most likely see a reprint soon, in my humble opinion. I think it will see a reprint at some point. So I'm most likely going to list this, my one copy, and I'm probably just going to put it up for sale. And when it gets reprinted, I will probably be picking up 3. Next, we got ourselves the Scareclaw archetype, which also does revolve around Visas Starfrost in general. A lot of these cards in this archetype have gone up decently in price. So at one point, this thing was about $4-ish. The boss monster, Scareclaw Tryhard, which is relatively generic, by the way. So I always thought it would have some dope implications, maybe in future archetypes. So I did pick up this archetype for really cheap. I think Cali Effect was screaming from the top of his rooftop or whatever. He was telling everybody, pick up this archetype. It's really dope. It's really underrated. And I really liked it too. I don't remember if I was telling people in my videos, but I really liked it as well. So I picked everything up as pretty cheap. I think I have 2 copies of this card. Personally, I will hold on to this. I know it's also from Dimension Force, so it's possible it's also likely to see a reprint. But I love this archetype, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So probably I will be holding on to this card, but you can see that it has definitely gone up in price, and it may be worth selling in a bit soon. We also have cards from Dimension Force like Scareclaw Reichhardt, which has gone up to $3. I think it was around a 99-cent card. Primitive Planet Reich Phobia is now a $5 field spell, which is kind of crazy. It's getting up there. And then Scareclaw Rival is a card that I'm a little bit surprised didn't go up there, because it's like a multi-revive, so multi-monster reborn, so I'm surprised it didn't get up there. But as you can see, some of the other Scareclaw cards are still cheap, but I believe these cards are all commons. I do have a bunch of these in my bulk, so that makes a lot of sense. Next, this one caught me off surprise a bit. Danger Nessie. Well, in theory, it actually does make a lot of sense. One, the Dark World structure deck, so a lot of people were picking this up. And secondly, it's a level 7 for the Kshatriya archetype. So I can see why it's gone up. I don't know why I did not expect this to go up as it did. I just listed 2 of my copies today, actually, because I saw this earlier, and this is like crazy. I think I might have paid maybe $1 for them, maybe $1.50 at one point, and the cheapest listing is, guess who it is, guys? Cheapest listing is about $10 for lightly played, but if you want a near mint, looks like this person can help you out at about $10.20 plus 99 cents shipping. But looks like near mints, yeah, so we have $11 seems to be around the price that this is going for. And let's go ahead and take a look at the other copies, because obviously they have gone up as well. Secret Rare has, holy crap, 43 listings at about $22. Ultra Rare, 14 listings, and cheapest you'll get for $14. The market price is way less than the cheapest price, meaning it has gone up most of the time. That usually means it's gone up very quickly, and it hasn't had time to adjust properly, which is crazy. Next, we got ourselves Chupacabra. This is not something I'd expect. Actually, it was not reprinted, right? So at least in the last structure deck, this is one of the ones that was not reprinted, along with Nessie. So it kind of makes sense. It kind of does. But I've kind of been out of the loop with Dangers for a bit, so I'm curious to see. So this has gone up to around $7.50. I believe I have a couple of these laying around as well. So I'm going to be taking a look at selling these probably soon, because there are only 23 listings, and the cheapest right now at a near mint is about $5, maybe $6-ish. So that's kind of crazy. I want to take a look at the other versions of this card as well. $10 and $9, all with very limited listings. We got ourselves Muckraker from the Underworld out of Darkwing Blast. This card is actually pretty good in the Dark World structure deck, so people have been excited to pick this up. I think cheapest it was around $4-ish at one point, right? So $3.67, yeah, looks like it was around $4. You can see it hovering around that range at one point. But now it has definitely started to go up in price just because of the utility that it does have. And I believe it's just generic fiend use, right? 2 effect monsters, very easy to summon. Cannot be used as link material. The turn it is link summon. If a monsters you control will be destroyed by battle, a card effect you contribute a fiend monster instead. So it does have generic fiend use, so anytime a fiend archetype does get that support or love from Konami, you could definitely see something like this going up in price, at least as long as it doesn't have, you know, too many reprints or whatever, you know. You can target 1 fiend monster in your graveyard except Muckraker from then, or discard 1 card if you do special summon. Okay, yep, 100% I could see the crazy implications with this in the Dark World structure deck, but in future fiend archetypes I could definitely see this being something that's nice and useful, so I can definitely see why this has gone up in price. Coach King Giant Trainer is definitely another one of those cards that you need for your Dark World structure deck. I've seen a lot of different builds online that for sure run this card. Basically, you detach a monster, draw 1 card, then show it. If it was a monster, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. You can conduct a battle phase, but you can only use this effect up to thrice per turn. So it does have potential to do some insane damage and perhaps finish off your opponent instead of having to go for that battle, etc., etc. So I do think it is a pretty dope card, and rightfully so. Draw power plus all that. So I can definitely see why it has potential, or the use in the structure deck that it does. So this looks to be going around $10, which is kind of freaking crazy because this thing was 67 cents at one point. So I regret not picking this up. I didn't even know this card existed, so I'm a noob for that one, I guess. But let's look at the other cards, the other copies, sorry. The other one is a secret rare, okay, with the lowest listing at about $22.49. Market price doesn't necessarily help us right now, but $22.49 is the lowest for that one. Number 89, Diable Assist the Mind Hacker, hopefully I didn't butcher that name, is definitely something that has gone up in price due to the Kshatriya archetype. I think we've covered this once or twice at least, but this thing is gotten super expensive compared to what it used to be. I think I picked up 2 of them for like 99 cents each, something like that. It was dirt cheap. But it was out of Brothers of Legend, so, and just the banishing from the extra deck, I just thought it would have like good implications in the future. So I'm glad that I picked up a couple. I don't really have an interest in the Kshatriya archetype right now, so I'm probably going to be looking to sell all my Kshatriya cards and just all my number 89 and all that stuff. I like to play it for fun, but I don't know if I'm going to take it to like tournaments and stuff, just because it's expensive to have, you know, certain physical cards. So I probably will be looking to sell this copy soon, or my copy soon. And it looks like the other copies yet, just as we thought. I think we've looked at these a couple times. There's only a Championship Series version times 2, an ultra rare and a super rare, and one is out of stock and the other one was $2,000 something. So I kind of anticipated this card to go up a lot more than it kind of did, at least in the $10-15 range, but it kind of looks like it got stuck around the $4 or $5 range. So it's possible it can go up in the future again, but I'm just going to go ahead and sell it just because it is out of Brothers of Legend, and that feels like a million years ago. Lastly, we got ourselves Runic Fountain. Now, this archetype was once terrorizing my locals, at least I haven't been around to other places, but I hated going against this archetype. But I slowly feel like every deck I go against that's Runic has kind of been like crapped out. You do see a lot of Runic still. Last Runic deck I believe I ran against was a Notoria Runic build, which I thought was interesting. The first and only time I've seen that before. But yeah, I would say it's definitely not as good as it once was at terrorizing the single stranglehold that it once had. I think the last, like, before the ban list and before the, what was that, before the Kshatriya stuff released, I believe that was Darkwing Blast. Before Darkwing Blast, this stuff, I think, I had a friend, he went to locals with me, and I think 3 or 4 times in a row he went undefeated with just a pure Runic deck, and it was the most annoying thing that I'd ever gone against. And so it's definitely nice to see that the card is getting cheaper, because I would love to pick this card up and I'd love to mess around with it, and it's definitely gotten cheaper compared to what it used to be. I think it was like a $20-30 card at one point, so I'm definitely going to be looking forward to messing around with it. However, we still got stuff like Runic Tip at $22. Hopefully that goes down a bit as well. Hugin the Runic Wings is about a $10.45 card, which is interesting. I might have a couple of these, so maybe I'll list those and then pick them up later when they're a little bit cheaper. But overall, the Runic archetype, besides those cards, is still relatively cheap. So it's definitely a fun, interesting archetype to mess around with. But I feel like it has been power crept out a bit, you know? So, but anyways, guys, you guys can let me know what you guys think about these cards. Are you going to be looking to buy, looking to sell? Any cards that I may have missed on today's Market Watch, you guys can let me know in the comments down below. And this is PlotArmorCards, guys, signing out for the day. And we will see you in the next video.